Welcome to another round of Month in Data, in which we look at the numbers behind some of this month's trending stories. Spain, one of the world's most visited countries, has become a magnet for tourists and property investors alike. Foreign buyers account for roughly 15% of Spain's housing market, with regions like the Balearic Islands, including the islands of Ibiza and Mallorca, far exceeding the national average. This could become a lot more expensive for those currently living outside the EU, with Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez this month announcing plans to impose a tax of up to 100% on the value of properties purchased by non-EU buyers. According to the Prime Minister, the drastic measure is necessary to ease the burden of the current housing shortage, which has seen prices increase steadily since 2013. While the increase is steep, Spain is not the only country that has moved to protect their domestic housing market by limiting foreign ownership. In 2018, New Zealand banned most foreign buyers, except Australians and Singaporeans, resulting in a sharp drop in international purchases. Canada also introduced a temporary ban in 2023 that is now set to expire on the 1st of January 2027. The long-term effects are hard to measure given the shake-up caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Housing prices are of course affected by myriad factors, and assessing the effectiveness of any single measure is extremely difficult. However, if successful, Spain's plans could provide a blueprint for other countries in Europe grappling with similar issues, including Greece and Portugal. Should other countries with housing affordability issues consider similar extreme measures? Meta Platforms is gearing up for a major change. The owner of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp is pulling the plug on third-party fact-checking in the US. Instead, Meta plans to roll out a community note system, similar to the one used on X, formerly Twitter. This system lets users add context or corrections directly under posts, and while some hail it as a step forward to democratizing content moderation, critics are sounding alarms. They worry it could open the floodgates for misinformation and hate speech. Every quarter, Meta reports that millions of pieces of hate speech are removed from the platform globally using a combination of review teams and AI. As of now, Meta has not reported changes to fact-checking in Europe. That's no surprise given the Digital Services Act, which puts stricter obligations on platforms like Facebook, classified as a very large online platform in the EU. Platforms with over 45 million users must address the spread of harmful content or risk massive fines. As Meta navigates these modifications, the discussion regarding the freedom of expression and responsible content persists. But Meta isn't the only social media that made headlines this month. So let's talk TikTok. Under legislation introduced in 2024, ByteDance must either divest its interest in TikTok by the 19th of January or face a complete ban in the country due to concerns over national security, data privacy, and misinformation. As Sunday 19th of January arrived, so did the American TikTokalypse, with the app going dark on US users. It was to be short-lived, however, with the app restoring services and thanking President Trump for the clarity they needed to operate. But the disruption left many users wondering, what's next? During TikTok's brief shutdown, Rednote, a Chinese lifestyle platform, saw its daily active users in the US skyrocket from under 700,000 to over 3.4 million, sending it to the top of the Apple App Store charts. In fact, over the past 12 months, downloads of Rednote in the US have increased drastically. Still, public opinion on the TikTok ban remains mixed. In 2024, 1/3 of adults in the US reported having strong support for new legislation that would lead to a TikTok ban, down from 37% in 2023. But the legislation isn't specifically a TikTok ban. It's about foreign-owned apps that meet certain criteria. Other apps such as CapCut, Lemonade, and Tokopedia are all affected. Meanwhile, content creators are bracing for uncertainty. 30% of content creators would look to YouTube as a replacement for TikTok, 29% would look to Facebook, and 15% to Instagram. What do you think about Meta's shift to a community-driven content moderation system? Will it empower users or create more chaos? And in what was a busy week back as President of the United States, the newly inaugurated Donald Trump has announced a $500 billion AI project. Dubbed as the Stargate Project, the venture is a partnership between OpenAI, Oracle, Japan's SoftBank, and MGX, a tech investment arm of the United Arab Emirates government. The plan? To invest $100 billion upfront in building cutting-edge data centers and AI infrastructure, with a total of $500 billion to be spent over the next 4 years. The AI market in the United States is set for sizable growth in the upcoming years, playing a pivotal role in the nation's economy, with over 100,000 American jobs expected to be created through the Stargate Project alone. But it's not just about jobs. The Stargate Project aims to position the United States as a global leader in AI, directly competing with the powerhouse nations like China. Despite US export controls on critical technologies like advanced computer chips, Chinese companies like DeepSeek continue to release AI models that rival and sometimes outperform US innovation at a fraction of the cost. DeepSeek claimed to have spent just $6 million training the model, using cheaper chips and equipment, triggering a $1 trillion collapse in the value of certain US and European stocks close to AI. While the United States still tops the ranking in terms of AI implementation, innovation, and investment, it is not alone in announcing AI infrastructure projects in early 2025. As part of a new AI action plan launched by the UK government, data center projects worth over $15 billion were announced in January. And over in India, Mukesh Ambani's Reliance is rumored to be planning to build the world's largest AI data center in Jamnagar, a project that could cost between $20 and $30 billion. And finally, the Dry January movement took off again, with more than a quarter of US respondents to a YouGov survey under the age of 44 saying that they plan to abstain for the month of January. The challenge began largely as a marketing campaign from the British charity Alcohol Change UK in 2014, but has grown into a global phenomenon in recent years. It is often said that the popularity of the movement reflects a shift in attitudes towards alcohol. But do the figures back up this claim? Well, certainly on the one hand, binge drinking rates seem to be falling. However, using the example of the US, the apparent per capita consumption appears to be at levels not seen since the 1980s, and the most recently available data shows an increase in alcohol-related deaths in the United States. Globally, revenue of the alcoholic drinks market is expected to continue to climb, having overtaken pre-pandemic levels in 2023. Much of the global growth is attributable to a booming spirits sector. While Dry January is one of the most prominent early-year consumer-led wellness challenges, it's getting some competition. If Dry January isn't tough enough, you could join 75 Hard. Created by entrepreneur Andy Frisella, 75 Hard is a 75-day program that aims to improve mental grit, with each day demanding 2 45-minute workouts, one of which is outdoors, reading 10 pages of non-fiction, following a diet with no cheat meals or alcohol, and drinking a gallon of water. Interest peaks in December and January, and 2025 has been somewhat of a breakout year for the challenge, with nearly 700,000 posts featuring the hashtag on TikTok, 180,000 of which came in the past 120 days. Can challenges like Dry January and 75 Hard impact long-term health and lifestyle choices? To find out more about these stories and countless others, head on over to statista.com and join us next time for another round of Month in Data.